So, Keefe D's house gets raided.
Yeah.
In Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
There is apparently a grand jury that are interviewing people as we speak.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you heard about about them raiding his house?
I mean, I think everyone was surprised. Like, the case is 27 years old. The Proffer agreement happened years ago. There's been multiple documentaries about it. They're going to do it now? Okay. The question is whether it's going to be like a real prosecution or whether they're just going to, hey, listen, just plead out to something slight and so we could just close the case. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Have they reached out to you about any of your footage?
I'm going to give you the exclusive on this. They actually have tried. I've gotten a bunch of phone calls and emails and stuff like that, but I'm not cooperating with this.
Okay. Do you think it's... I mean, I'm assuming they can access the interview on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming what they want is the uncut version, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just to see if there was anything talked about.
Correct. Yeah, but my thing, and I've always held this stance when it comes to people that interview on my platform, I'm not going to have you come to my platform and do an interview only to then work against you with the police. Regardless of what people think that I really do, the reality of what I do, and I've had to do this before. I remember this one time they tried to seize this one interview of someone who asked me to take it down like the next day.
Okay.
Because they were fighting a case at the time. Their lawyer asked me to take him down. They then wanted to get the footage from me, and I said no. And they were like, well, we're going to put you on the stand, whatever. We're going to subpoena you. And like, all right, well, I'm lawyering up then.
Mm-hmm.
So my lawyer got involved, and they weren't able to get it. And, ultimately the guy ended up losing his case anyways, but we weren't involved in it. So if you interview on my platform, if the police then try to approach me on it, I'm always going to say no.
Yeah.
So I haven't even responded. And I'm sure the police are going to watch this and now see why.
Yeah.
But that's my stance. I'm not responding. I'm not cooperating. If you want to try to subpoena whatever, I will get a lawyer and I will fight it. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, even in the language they use, I don't think that they can. But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get the raw footage, thinking there might be something that was said that we didn't release. But honestly, if you know what I do, literally almost every second of the footage has been released.
Okay.
Unless the person coughs or,
right.
says, oh, let me go get a drink of water, let me go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're into the quantity of footage. So we try to get every second of footage and try to release it whenever possible. So they're really barking up the wrong tree if that's what they're trying to do. And I don't think, they haven't used any language of me, of trying to force me to do it, because I don't think that they have any legal basis of it. But I am not cooperating. Whatever Keefe D is going through, VladTV is not going to add to his problems.
Okay.
Now, the videos are released publicly, so I'm assuming that they could probably access that. But it's out of my hands at this point. And whatever happens to Keefe happens to Keefe. Ultimately, I don't have any sort of malice towards Keefe at all. I appreciate him coming to my platform and telling his story. Mm-hmm. He may come back at some point. He may not. We've had discussions about that as well. But what I didn't realize was that grand juries actually take a long time.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like a trial. Like, okay, go on this date, everyone presents their evidence, and then the grand jury decides. But in actuality, this drags on for months sometimes, where every week they come in with something new, whatever, until they finally close their case, and then the grand jury votes, which is honestly, I think, kind of a dirty system, because it allows you to just keep piling stuff on until you get what you want, as opposed to let me get my shit together and present it. But I'm not part of the legal system or whatever else. So whatever happens. But I'm not cooperating with any of this shit. Whatever Las Vegas PD is going to do, they're going to have to do that on their own. Yeah.
Do you think, based on what he said and what he's written in his book, they could convict him, or do you think they? What would you? I would think they would need some sort of evidence, because he could just say, "Oh, I just said all that shit to make money."
Yeah. I think it more so comes down to the Proffer agreement. Mm-hmm. I think that what's more going to be challenged is whether the Proffer agreement holds. because he said what he said to Greg Kading, and he essentially has been repeating that in the interviews and whatever else. So if the proffer agreement holds, then technically they can't use any of that shit.
Yeah.
But if they say, well, the proffer agreement was only for that day, and if you choose to repeat it, then it can be used against you, then they may have something. But I think that this is like a gray legal area that, is going to have to be argued in the legal system.
Yeah. And I interviewed Greg and asked him specifically about this. Somebody like in Keefe D's position, if he has any of these agreements, is there any time that he can talk about the stuff that he discussed with you guys without getting in trouble?
No. When he goes outside of that agreement, that information is all there to be used, should a prosecutor choose to do so. So when he's gone outside of this law enforcement environment where he has been given this agreement, everything else is up for grabs. So everything that he's said in books or on YouTube channels or, on, multiple interviews, that's all information that can absolutely be used against him and should.
And his understanding of it was that the proffer agreement that was given to Keefe was for that one session only.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was always aware of as well. But then again, I think there's more to it.
Yeah.
And you also got to think. I just want to say this:
Okay.
that I mean, Greg has been trying to solve this case, so Greg is going to say, things based on what he wants as well. And this is not it's not a shot at Greg. It's just that, Greg wants to solve this case. He was working on this case, so he's going to ultimately hope for things to go his way, which may not always be, the way the law ultimately works out. So.
Yeah. Okay.